Hello, best learners. This is Mustafa here at Learn with the Best, and today we're going to be looking at Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Law number 16, use absence to increase respect and honor. First, I'm going to define the law for you, and then we'll go over an example from the book about the thrill of love. And we'll end by analyzing the law in greater detail and understanding how we can wield this law in our own lives. So here's the law. Too much circulation makes the price go down. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you're already established in a group, temporary withdrawal from the group will make you more talked about and even more admired. You must learn when to leave. Create value through scarcity. Once upon a time, there was a knight named Sir Daniel, and he roamed around France in the Middle Ages, going from castle to castle, reciting his poetry and winning the hearts of many young women. At one particular castle, he fell in love with a lady named Rose. He sang her his lovely songs, recited his poetry, played chess with her, and little by little, she fell in love with him. Now, Daniel had a friend named Pierre who fell in love with another lady named Violet. And one day, Pierre and Violet had a big fight. The lady dismissed him, and so Pierre sought out his friend Daniel to help him get back into Violet's good graces. Daniel was leaving town for a while, but when he returned several weeks later, he worked his magic and got his friend Pierre back into Violet's good graces. Pierre felt that his love had increased tenfold, and there was no stronger love than the love that follows reconciliation. The stronger and longer the disagreement, he told Daniel, the sweeter the feeling that comes with peace and reconciliation. So naturally, this piqued Daniel's interest, and now he too wanted to know the bliss of reconciliation after a fight. Therefore, he feigned great anger with Rose. He stopped sending her love letters, and he abruptly left the castle, and he stayed away, even during the festivals and the hunts. So this drove the young Lady Rose absolutely wild. Lady Rose sent messengers to Daniel, but he turned them all away. He believed that all of these dramatics would make her angry, forcing him to beg and plead for reconciliation, just as Pierre had. But instead, his absence had the opposite effect. It made Rose love him and want him even more. Now the lady was pursuing her knight, sending messengers and love notes of her own, and this was unheard of. A lady never pursued a knight. Daniel did not like it one bit. Rose's forwardness made him feel as if she had lost some of her dignity. Not only was he no longer sure of his plan, he was no longer sure of his lady. So finally, after several months of not hearing from Daniel, Rose finally gave up. She sent him no more messengers, and he began to wonder, maybe she was angry. Maybe the plan had worked after all. He would wait no more. It was time to reconcile. He put on his best robes, decked his horse out, he chose a magnificent helmet, and rode off to see his lady. When Rose heard that her beloved was returning, she rushed out to see him. She knelt before him, dropped her veil to kiss him, and begged his forgiveness for whatever she had done to cause his anger. Now, can you imagine this guy's confusion and despair? His plan had failed miserably. She was not angry at all. She had never been angry. She was only deeper in love, and he would never experience the joy of reconciliation after a big fight. Daniel was still desperate to taste that joy, and so he decided to try one more time. He drove her away with harsh words. She left, this time vowing never to see him again. The next morning, he regretted what he had done. He rode back, but the lady would not receive him, and she ordered her guards to chase him away. Back in his chambers, he collapsed and started to cry like a little girl. He had made a terrible mistake. Over the next year, unable to see his lady, he experienced the terrible absence that can only inflame great love. He wrote beautiful poems, and he sent many letters to Rose, explaining what he had done. He confessed. He explained his entire plan about wanting to experience the joy of reconciliation, and he begged her for her forgiveness. After a great long while, Lady Rose, remembering his beautiful songs, his handsome figure, and his skills in dancing and falconry, she found herself yearning to have him back. As penance for his cruelty, she ordered him to remove the nail from the pinky finger on his right hand and to send it to her with a poem describing his miseries. He did as she asked, and finally he was able to taste the ultimate sensation, a reconciliation even surpassing that of his friend Pierre. I don't know about you, but I like the fingernail on my right pinky. I don't think I could part with it for a woman. Well, anyway, now let's analyze this law. But before we do that, I want to shamelessly promote my course into the middle of this video. If you want to transform yourself from a lamb to a lion, then check out my course pinned in the top comment below. I will teach you the importance of time and how you can manage that time in order to achieve your dreams and your life purpose. Let's be honest here, the majority of the population are sheep, taking part in the 9-to-5 rat race of life, not enjoying their work and never fulfilling or even finding their life purpose. You know, you go to work, you come home, you eat a pizza, watch the newest TV show, and day by day, month by month, decade by decade, your life passes you by and you have never achieved your dreams. So let me be your sensei. I will give you the tools that you need for success. But keep in mind, this is not a magic pill and it will require hard work on your part. You have to follow what I teach and you have to put in the work on yourself on a daily basis. So if you're interested, then again, check out my course. It will be pinned in the top comment below. Okay, so back to it. Let's analyze this dynamic between Daniel and Rose. Trying to discover the joys of reconciliation, Daniel inadvertently experienced the truth of this law of using absence to increase respect and honor. At the start of an affair, you need to heighten your presence in the eyes of the other. If you absent yourself too early, you may be forgotten. But once your lover's emotions are engaged and the feeling of love has crystallized, then and only then can absence inflame and excite. Giving no reason for your absence excites even more because the other person assumes that he or she is at fault. While you're away, the lover's imagination takes flight, and a stimulated imagination cannot help but to make love grow stronger. Conversely, the more that Rose chased Daniel, the less that he loved her. She had become too present, too accessible, leaving no room for his imagination. He was feeling suffocated. But when Rose finally stopped sending messages, Daniel was able to breathe again and return to his plan. So what withdraws, what becomes scarce, suddenly seems to deserve our respect and honor. What stays too long makes us run the other way. Absence diminishes minor passions and inflames great ones, as the wind douses a candle and fans a fire. So wield this law the same way that Luke Skywalker wields his lightsaber. Understand that everything in the world depends on absence and presence. A strong presence will draw power and attention to you. You shine more brightly than those around you. But a point is inevitably reached where too much presence starts creating the opposite effect. The more you are seen and heard from, the more your value degrades. You simply become a habit. No matter how hard you try to be different, subtly, without your knowing why, people respect you less and less. At the right moment, you must learn to withdraw yourself before they unconsciously push you away. It's a game of cat and mouse, if you will, a game of hide and seek. The truth of this law can be applied to many different areas of life, but it can most easily be appreciated in matters of love and seduction. In the beginning states of an affair, the lover's absence stimulates your imagination, forming a sort of aura around him or her. But this aura fades when you know too much, when your imagination no longer has the room to roam. The loved one becomes a person like anyone else, a person whose presence is taken for granted. So remember this, love never dies of starvation, but it does die of indigestion. The moment you allow yourself to be treated like anyone else, it's already too late. You are swallowed and digested. To prevent this, you need to starve your lover of your presence. Force their respect by threatening them with the possibility that they will lose you for good. Create a pattern of presence and absence. If you like my YouTube content and you want to support me, then please check out my Patreon link in the description below. I upload new videos every Friday for my Patreon subscribers that go deeper into my life regarding the 48 laws. These videos are a bit more raw and untamed than my usual videos here on YouTube. And if you're a patron of mine already, then I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's people like you that truly make all of this possible. Please don't forget to simply subscribe, smash that thumbs up button below, and make sure you hit that bell icon so YouTube can let you know exactly when a new video is uploaded. I hope you enjoyed this animated video on Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Law number 16, use absence to increase respect and honor. And remember, you only retain about 10% of what you learned the first time around. So watch this video through a few times and then come back to it again and again in order to really understand and ingrain all of the material into your mind. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. And remember to use absence to increase respect and honor.